Hey, what is going on, everybody? Hey, listen, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hey, listen, I'm Steve.
I'm Bobby.
And we are the Mix. Hey, y'all, we have a special treat for y'all today. I'm telling you, you guys are in for it. But, hey, before we begin, some people may be out there and they may be asking, hey, why do they call it the Mix? Well, it's a couple reasons why we call it the Mix.
Yeah.
Number one, the marriage that's exactly what it is. It's a mix. It's a mix of all of me, the good and the bad.
Yeah, and all of me, the good and the even better, right?
And the worst.
The even better, Steve. Come on.
No, in all seriousness, though, it's a mixture of my past, my present, my future, her past, her present, her future, all mixed together to make this holy matrimony.
Yeah, and listen, people may also wonder, why do we spell it M-Y-X with a Y in the middle? Well, we believe that every marriage is joined together for a purpose,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
There is an assignment that you are supposed to accomplish in your marriage, and that's your why. So when times are high, you can, run with that why, but when times get low, when times are difficult, you can lean on that why, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so anyway, we're going to be here today with a couple that we believe has discovered why God joined them together. This couple, they are an amazing couple. They are the founders of a huge marriage network.
Huge.
Yeah, over
huge.
1.3 million followers.
Hold on. Do you mean 1.3 hundred?
No, 1.3 million.
1.3 thousand?
Million, Steve. Some of y'all don't have that in your bank accounts right now.
Well, technically, we don't have it in our bank.
I'm talking about like with 401ks and
well, yes, and then you add about 20 more years.
But million is a lot.
The interest. And we getting there, y'all.
Yeah. We're working on something. But they have a huge marriage network, and listen, they have written a book that serves as the playbook for healthy relationships. Hold it up, Steve. Yeah, so the name of the book is Flying High. Yes, and it is the playbook that they are sharing today. They're sharing little nuggets from their book. And so, listen, y'all don't want to miss this conversation. Don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. But why don't you introduce them and let's bring them in.
Absolutely. So, again, y'all, they are the founders of one of the largest marriage networks in all of the world with over 1.3 million people. They are the co-authors of Flying High. Y'all, please help me welcome Mauricio and Kris Sonny. How you guys doing today, y'all? What is going on?
Hey, y'all. Hey. We are excited to be
here. You guys did it. Listen, with that type of introduction, we got to take y'all on the road with that.
Well, come on. We ready. We ready.
All of that. The mix is in the building.
Well, listen. Well, y'all heard Bobby. She's trying to get to 1.3 million real quick. So y'all take us on the road.
And it is so. Amen.
Come on.
Listen, I don't want to gloss past the fact that we've known each other for years. First of all, let me say that Mauricio, I don't know how your name is Mauricio, because to me, your name is Benny. And let me give y'all the history. So Mauricio was in a play with my mom, and his character's name was Vinny. And I was a little girl at the time. He was a young boy at the time. And, all I heard was Vinny. You know how it is when you're doing a production. People call you by the name of your character. So,
you are
Haley's
baby. Mama Haley's baby. That's what I remember.
Yeah, but aside from that, we've got history.
Absolutely. I mean, y'all, we used to go to church together. It felt like many years ago, but I mean, back in the 90s, y'all, we was all at the same church. It was I grew up with these people right here, and it's been amazing. Amazing. So thank y'all. We love y'all. Hey, why don't y'all take some time to introduce yourselves to the people?
Well, I'm Kris. This is my lovely husband, Sonny. Well, we call him Sonny, so but you can call him Mauricio or Sonny. We are the founders of the Marriage Club, guys, and like they said, we've got 1.3 million followers. And so we're so excited about that because we get to take love and marriage all over the world. So we're just so thankful that God even gave us the opportunity to minister to couples. So that's who we are. You got something to add, babe?
Yes, I'm just elated that God is doing such an amazing works both through you guys and that we are able to walk on this journey with you. I am excited. I love what you guys are doing. I love y'all's love. We're all birthed from the same tree. We're fruit of the same root. And I thank God for the Johnson family and the lineage that they have produced through all of us and the love and excitement that they showed each of us, how to be married, how to stay married. I think our pastors, Pastor David and Pastor Bonnie, they celebrated 49 years.
Wow. Shout out.
Last week, 49 years. I mean, they spent their birthday with us last year, but then they did some outlandish upstairs stuff for their 49th anniversary. And I said 49 years. To be connected with people who have that kind of love and to be family with people, and for us to be able to carry on that mantle, it's such a joy, but it's also it's a burden that we have to make sure that we stay tethered to God so that we can move and do the things that He has called and required us to do for relationships and also for our own relationships.
Come on now. Come on now.
Okay,
all right.
You don't give a preacher a mic if you don't want him to speak.
Hey, look.
He did the shimmy.
So listen, thank you guys. Look, you guys introduced the polished side of y'all. We love to see it. Now we want to introduce everybody to the nitty gritty. Okay.
Nitty gritty.
They really want to.
Yeah, we're gonna jump right in it. Y'all in the mix now. So listen,
we in the mix.
We in the mix.
We want to play a game with you guys real quick. All right. It's an icebreaker game, and it's called Marriage Rapid Fire. All right.
All right, here we go.
So get ready. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to ask you guys a series of questions, and the first person that comes to mind, whether it's yourself or whether it's your spouse, I want you to point to them real quick. All right. So if it's you, if it's them, whatever, don't even think about it. All right. If you think too long, you're going to be disqualified. All right. We're going to take.
Oh, wow.
No hesitation.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So let's do it. First question. Who takes the longest to get ready for date night?
All right. Second question. Who is most romantic?
Oh, okay.
Good to know.
Third question. After an argument, who is the first person to apologize?
Nobody's fast when they answer this question. Do not lie.
That is a great question.
Everybody's like me.
Nobody in this house. We are both alphas. Nobody. We'll ride this thing out like a pony.
Right. Listen, I saw something on the Marriage Club where it said married couples don't apologize. They just start asking weird questions like, "Hey, did you after you could?" And that breaks the ice.
That thing has 1 million likes. That thing is crazy. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Right. Okay, next question. Who is the best driver?
I taught us how to drive.
Right? Come on now. All right, next question. Who is the one that is mostly in the mood?
Mood.
Turn out the lights, light a candle.
Okay, next question. Y'all ready?
Sorry,
Answer it. Okay, who's the best dresser?
Me.
I was about to say, girl, come on now. I see you.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Who is the craziest?
Wait,
I'm
Sonny
certified.
points.
We both got a little bit crazy.
Okay. Who likes to snack the most? Okay.
All right. Okay. Who is the cheapest?
Me too. I feel you. All right. Who's the best cook?
Wow. Okay. So Mauricio, you're a crazy cook that knows how to drive.
You know, I'm a celebrity chef. I mean, we've got a cooking show in 49 states. So.
Right. Yeah, we gave y'all the layup for that. We follow the show.
His mama taught him very well. So thank you, mama. Okay.
I know
My
that.
baby has been putting it down for years. Okay.
That's awesome.
I hear that. All right, so y'all, now that we know y'all and everything, and you've been introduced to the people and all that good stuff, let's talk about, before we jump into this book, y'all, because we're going to definitely dive deep into this book, I want to talk about this marriage network that you guys built up. I mean, and again, y'all, it's 1.3 million people. Bobby and I have been a member of you all's marriage network for years. We love the content that you guys put out there out there. I mean, it has created a lot of pillow talk for us. So the first question is, what inspired you all to start the Marriage Club?
I think it was purpose driven. I feel like we were connected with a group of families, and we just started, loving on them and being in their circle. And what ended up happening is that most of them started coming to us for counsel and for advice and different things like that. And God really, I think he took us through this whole journey that kind of brought us to this place where we were able to help people, partially because of his divine intervention and his divine wisdom, but also because of our own personal experience and what we had been through.
That's fantastic. So, okay. I'm sorry. Were you saying something, Kris? No.
Oh, I was listening. No.
Okay. So, when you guys started the Marriage Club, did you ever envision it getting to 1.3? I mean, we're just still at the beginning, 1.3 million followers. Did you see it coming?
No, I don't think we saw it coming. We were very amazed. Like Sonny said, it started really with a group of friends. We would hold each other accountable. We would have date nights. We would do things together, to promote healthy marriage within ourselves. And then one day I was like, you know what? Why not open this up to other people who may want to be involved in it? And when it happened, I think it also was a divine timing of God, because the law as it relates to marriage, now that I go back and look, was about to change and shift. So I know that was a God moment, right? And so once we opened it up, it just, man, it was like, oh my God. We celebrated 500 people. We celebrated 1,000 people. We celebrated 3,000. Boy, when we got to 10,000, we're like, oh my God. Yeah, and it's still exciting. So if you got 500 or 3,000 or whatever you are, if you put your marriage, that's a wonderful thing. But man, it has totally blown our minds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So now I want to ask you guys, like, where y'all want to take this thing? I mean, you guys have the ears and the eyes of so many people, and they're looking at you guys, and you guys are great role models and great examples of a marriage. What's some of the future plans that y'all want to do with this network? What do y'all want to do?
Well, one, we want to start traveling the world more, and we're about to do that. Just going across the world, telling people about marriage. We really feel like marriage is the foundation of everything. So we want to get out there into the world, even more than where we are now, and just really bring the message of marriage, which is the message of Christ, right? So just get out there. We have marriage school. So, we're now like teaching couples, bringing them in and like really teaching them how to be successful and happy in their marriage. And marriage retreats. We plan on building land so that we can bring couples in. We have land, sorry. Yeah. We're gonna, build a retreat center so we can bring couples in. So anything marriage related, look, we're coming after it.
Hold on, y'all said something amazing right there. That really gave me chills. Y'all said y'all want to build something on some land. Yes. So y'all want to build like this marriage campus. Y'all talk to me about that. What's up?
Well, the ideal is to have we're going to start with 6 luxury.
Come on, luxury.
How do I say it?
You called it barnuminiums, but
I don't want everybody to know my ideas. No, I'm just kidding. They're gonna be
I'm like, just give us a little bit.
No, I'm just kidding. But they're not gonna understand that,
right?
As far as the people, not you guys. You can of course research it, but it's a new trendish thing called barndominiums. They're like cabins, but on 1,000. So it'll be a nice size cabin where it'll hold the family. So we want to start with maybe 6 to 10 of those. And then we'll have the big house, which is the meeting center, the hangout spot, and the place where we come together to really do our training. But we want to bring couples down. Say, for instance, Bobby, you call me, man, this woman getting on my nerves, man. I feel like I'm about to start drinking. This woman giving me such a hard time. I'm gonna say, Bobby, you and Haley's baby, y'all come to the retreat center. I'm gonna say, come to the retreat center. I'm gonna say, come down here, Steve, and I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm tripping. I'm mixing them up. I'm gonna say, come down here and come hang out with us. Let's spend some time refreshing your marriage. Let's spend some time giving you some strategies. Let's spend some time restoring you guys. And y'all come down for maybe a 3 to 5 day week and really get some healthy stuff so we can send you back. And we'll do that with about 6 to 10 couples and just change your life.
I love that. I love that. One thing I love about the network itself is if you go on the page, we find that you guys meet couples where they are. It doesn't matter if it's the first day of their marriage. I've seen so many people that say, hey, we got married today. I've seen pictures of weddings. I've seen all of that. But then I've also seen where somebody will say, can you please pray for my marriage? We are in a rough patch. So the fact that you are building on land, that you're inviting people to come when they're in that place of pain and that place of trauma, and just speaking to people where they are and providing that hope, through Christ, that's so encouraging. And that's what I believe has helped your network grow to over 1 million, that you care about the condition of people's marriages. So we celebrate you guys for what you've been able to accomplish. This is absolutely amazing, and it's even getting more and more amazing by the second. Yes!
Listen, guys, let me tell y'all something. I absolutely love you all's book. Bobby and I, first of all, when we saw that you guys were putting it out there, we jumped immediately on it. We got our order in. It came in a couple days later, and we couldn't put the book down. All right? We couldn't put it down.
All right. Hallelujah.
It's amazing. So what we want to do is we want to talk about this book. First of all right, the name of the book is Flying High, the Marriage Club Playbook to a Healthy Relationship, all right, which is amazing. And tell me, what inspired y'all to write this book?
Go ahead, baby.
I love how you shoot me the shot. Okay. No worries. Actually, it came at a time when we actually were going out to speak to couples, and just asking the Lord, like, what should we say to them? How could we, make them see it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's where the idea of taking the analogy of a flight, going on a trip together, because marriage is a journey. And so, God gave us that, and we begin to teach it, in different places. And one time we taught it at a church, and if like in the book, is dedicated to a pastor. He passed away. He was like, you guys need to put this in a book.
Wow.
And we're like, well, okay,
we'll
do that. Now, it took us years to really sit down and put it in the book.
Get it done.
But that's where it came from. And so
and it was so effective. Flying High is about learning how to get above your issues and to make your issues smaller and to really learn how to communicate better. And to one of the shameless plugs, put your seatbelt on. That came from Bishop Johnson when we were when we taught it at his church.
Wow.
He was so Bishop Flynn, yes.
He was so inspired that he was like, okay, I got one more. Y'all got to put in the book. put your seatbelt on. The interjection. So a whole chapter was birthed from just kind of that love and interaction, and we saw how effective it was, and we wanted to share with the world.
Yeah. No, that's the one thing that I was the most excited about was the analogy of the book. I was like, look at this chapter name, Steve. And every single chapter is related to the analogy of taking a flight. And guys, it makes you really think about what you're doing in a marriage. Like every single chapter has a great analogy, and it just speaks and it resonates. So I think you guys did an awesome job of that. That was actually my next question. Tell us how you came up with the analogy. But I mean, like you said, as you were talking to couples and God was just speaking to you, you know how he is. He was just like, well, he probably just dropped it on you and y'all passed out.
Right.
So listen, so what we want to do is I want to take a couple excerpts from the book if we could, all right? We're not going to give the whole thing away, but I want to touch on just a couple things that really stuck out to us, all right? Because this was huge. And I'm just going to kind of lob it up to y'all, and then we're going to do an alley-oop. Sorry, babe, I didn't mean to hit you, babe. We're going to do an alley-oop, and y'all just slam dunk this thing, okay? So chapter 4 on page 49 is called Baggage Check, all right?
I should get my book out, huh?
Come on, get there. We're going to have get the book out now. Get the book out.
That's like one of my favorite chapters, so go ahead.
So the thing that this got me was because we're called the mix, right? So the mix, one of the reasons why we call it the mix again is because it's a marriage is just that. It's all of me. It's my past, my present, my future, her past, present, future mixed in together. But as you all know, people got baggage, right? And sometimes we bring that baggage into the marriage. And you ever been on a plane? I'm gonna hand it to y'all. But I love this chapter because it's like you ever went on a plane and you looking at somebody, but like you should have checked that bag.
Right.
Check that daggone bag. Get your butt off the plane and check the bag. All right, talk to me about chapter 4, baggage check.
Well, baggage check is about the experiences that you bring to the table, some of the history, and it's more about getting to the root of why you are the way you are. What are some of the things that have maybe caused you to be apprehensive or afraid of love? One of the things that I realized in our relationship is that a big piece of who I am was depicted upon or because of my past history relationally. So I had to learn how to get past and unpack and declutter some of those things and remove some of those bags from my life so that I could learn to be more effective as a husband, as a father, as a man of God.
Right.
And also, when you are going on a trip, and you pack your bags and you bring all those things with you, you get to the certain place and they weigh you. Mm-hmm. And if you got too much weight, it's gonna cost you something more, or you're not gonna be able to take the flight because you can't afford it. Right. So you have got to get rid of those things that is going to hinder you from getting to where you need to be.
Or even worse, here's the thing. You have something in your bag that is prohibited.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
You must rather have something in your bag the TSA flag.
That's right.
And it might potentially get you derailed from your trip altogether.
Come on, put you in jail. So
we got to figure out what those things are that we have or that we have experienced, past traumas, hurts, whatever the case may be. We got to learn how to declutter and shed off some of those things so that we can be more effective and more strategically in a better place relationally.
So that's so good. So okay, can we kind of dive in just a little bit deeper with something that you said, Mauricio? You said something that may be prohibited. Yeah. Can we talk about like what are some of those things that we should not bring into the marriage? Those bags.
Come here, millennials. I love it that y'all would say,
wait.
Thank you, come here. One time I did this, and there were some people in the crowd, and I said, you know what? You're in a new relationship, but you're still carrying old trinkets.
Yeah.
There were folks, come here, who still had belongings from their past relationship.
Yeah.
Watches, rings, clothes, and all of that stuff, you know, consciously and subconsciously carries a weight. And some of it, people crazy. You know, they trying to put roots and different things like that. So you carrying anchors from old relationships that are constantly being reminded every time you look at your watch. I mean, we had people bring stuff to the stage, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with some of this stuff. We had priceless stuff coming up to the stage, folks were bringing, because they realized that they had things that they were tethered to that they didn't even know.
Yeah.
And this is just in the physical aspect. But then there are some mental ties and some things that we hold on to, like a great example. My baby and I, we just kind of reviewed as we were talking to our group during our lesson this weekend. There was a young lady I dated when I was a kid who wrecked me. And I didn't realize how wrecked I was until one day me and my wife were riding down the street. I told her about what had happened. I'm figuring we passed this. I'm gangster. I got you. Okay. So I'm figuring I'm good. You know what? I'm not thinking about that. And about maybe 20 years after the incident occurred, we're riding down the street, my wife and I, and the young lady has moved back to Georgia. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know, but so we're riding down the highway and she passes us. I see her, wife sees her, and I just look away. And baby said, that was her. She said, that was her. My whole countenance changed. And it went into this almost broken state.
Wow.
I'm riding down the highway, minding my business 20 plus years later. And it was like a rush of every experience and feeling that I had never really dealt with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Literally just fell on me, where I had to hold my composure just to stay in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
And it really, at that point, I began to recognize this thing had some long-term effects on me. The trauma related to that relationship really messed with my ability to be who I needed to be. So I had to really work toward getting that thing off of me and really learn how to forgive this person so that I could move on and be who God desired for me to be in this relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's so good. Go ahead, please.
No, that's all I was saying.
Okay, yeah, well, this just reminds me of that scripture, the heart is deceitful above all, and who can know it? One thing I love is that, when you're preparing for a trip, you got to check your bags even before you get to the airport. You got to search and dig and make sure there's nothing in the pockets there, that you don't have a knife in the
right.
Yeah,
because you know me.
Yeah, he's the crazy one in our relationship. He got but that I think that's so powerful. We definitely want to get rid of that baggage in a relationship. But there's so many good chapters. I don't want to get stuck on this. One that I loved, and especially as a woman, I love chapter 8, oxygen mask. Oxygen mask.
That's another one. I think that's my favorite.
Oh gosh. Listen, that chapter spoke to me personally because well, first, let me just say a little bit about it. You guys explained, the flight attendant coming on, giving the speech and talking about you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can put it on any small children or anyone with you. And, I'm not going to go into detail because I want you guys to read the book. Get the book, read the book.
Get the book.
Get the book, read the book. It will change your marriage. Absolutely. But, personally, as a woman, sometimes I get so caught up in taking care of, we're nurturers. And so I will pour everything that I have into this man at my own expense. And what I realize is he's not getting the best version of me. I'm getting burned out, and our marriage is not the best that it can be, even though my intentions were good. I could only imagine being on a plane and trying to, and you know, something happens. We hit that turbulence and those masks drop, and just panicking and being like, oh, I got to get my children straight. I got to make sure my husband's straight, whatever.
Your neighbor, your friend.
Yeah, your neighbor, whoever it may
You're so
be.
caught up in trying to make sure everybody else is situated that all of y'all might be in trouble because you didn't do it in the right order.
Yeah. I listen, I want to hear specifically, Kris, I want to hear from you because, like I said, this one spoke to me as a woman. So tell me your thoughts behind this chapter.
Well, I love the chapter, and I just, I like to give you an experience that I had. So during the pandemic, just like you, we're trying to take care of our children, make sure our house is together, make sure as us as pastors, make sure the church is running, make sure the videos is, I was just doing so many things to make sure everybody else was okay. And then and I'm strong, you know what I mean? Like listen, I'm here for my family. I'm rider live. I ain't gonna say rider, that's my word.
Yeah.
But I just remember listening to a group of ladies that were talking, and they mentioned that, women were overwhelmed. I had no idea that I was overwhelmed. And immediately I start crying. And immediately I just felt the weight of that word, not even knowing, because I'm in the mix. I'm in the middle of it, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to make sure everything is taken care of, but I'm not taking care of myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was like, all right, Kris, you have to take care of yourself. I mean, I went and walked, and I started talking with God, and just like, all right, God, bring me back to a place. My husband didn't know what was wrong with me. So he didn't know what was wrong with me, but I was so overwhelmed. So it's so important for us to have self-care. It's so important for us to have, time for ourselves, to build ourselves, because when we're depleted, we don't have anything to give. You know what I mean? We don't have anything to, so we always talk about filling your love bank with your relationship with each other, but you also have to do that with yourself. And therefore you'll have enough to give away. You know what I mean? You won't be depleted. You won't be in the negative. You'll have enough to give to your family. So in those moments when you're all filled and, you're in the black. Right. So when you're depleted or you have to give to others, you're able to do that. So yeah.
That's
so
good.
Definitely. From you first. Love you first.
Yes.
Right. And I would tell that to my single ladies as well. Like, don't come in the relationship looking for him to make you whole. Right. You need to be whole in yourself. So do the work before you get in, or men, or whomever. Just make sure you're loving and taking care of yourself.
Now that's really good from a woman's perspective, because I definitely understood what you were saying, babe, because Bobby is a nurturer all the way through. I mean, it's always, let's take care of the family, before she takes care of herself. And so I definitely understood why this hit home for her. But Mauricio, tell me from a man's perspective, like what do I get out of this chapter? Because I don't want to be like, well, take care of me first. What does that mean? Like, what does that look like, from a husband's perspective?
I kind of see it like my Krispy Kreme theory.
All right, come on, Krispy Kreme.
So as a man, you can function and do all of the things you're supposed to do and go through the course of the normal day, and you feel like you're good. But if you don't have an interpersonal relationship with God, that's what gives you the glaze. That's what makes you more than just okay, more than just functioning. So you've got to kind of learn how to build your own love bank, learn how to support yourself so that you can be better for him. You got to know how to value and love yourself. The Bible says the greatest commandment of all, love others as you love yourself. So how I'm going to love her if I don't first love me? How am I going to be a good father to my children and love on them compassionately if I don't first have the ability to love myself? So we've got to learn, even as men, to put the glaze on, get in relationship with God, spend time with him. This is how we love on ourselves, groom ourselves, spend some time doing manly stuff, building ourselves up so that we can be the best version of ourselves that we can be. We don't want to just function. We want to function as the best version of ourselves that we can be. And when you love yourself, you spend more time loving your wife. When you love yourself, you spend more time loving God. When you love yourself, you spend more time loving your children. And there's certain things you just don't do when you're in love with yourself. Man, I honor, as a king, I can't diminish my crown with you peasants. Girl, you can't afford me. You're a jester. Come on, you got that kind of, and it took me a while. And the funny thing is, we kind of reverse roles. She hardcore. I'm kind of the nurturer in our relationship. She broke once, I think, in our whole cycle of life. But for the most part, I was always a people pleaser.
That's the pastor in him.
Yeah, the pastor in me. I always want to love and nurture on people, even to the point where it was detrimental, to the point where people would take advantage and folks calling you, trying to pimp your wallet and pimp the finances of the church and different things like that, and pull resources and ain't got no intentions on staying. They just was trying to, because I'm a giver, I was surrounded by taking.
Wow.
Hear me, surrounded by takers. I mean, everybody take, nobody give. And when I realized that, it's like, wait a minute. I've got to love me first. I've got to, at some point, I've got to put myself first so that I can at least be able to sustain my relationship. I can't just be going out here doing everything for everybody.
Yeah.
Bishop Jake says it best. You got to learn how to prioritize the things that need prioritization at the times when they need it.
Nice. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
That's good. That's good. I like that. I think self-care helps you set boundaries around your life and your time. I think that's, the heart of it. But before we move on to the next chapter, I just want to give the people some practical nuggets. I know, Kris, you talked about, you started taking a walk, and then Sonny, you talked about spending time with the Lord. But let's just, maybe name one or two things a piece that we, men and women can do just to take care of themselves.
Personal affirmations.
Yes.
You got to speak over yourselves, even the things that aren't happening just yet. Put that thing into play.
Yeah.
I am fearfully and wonderfully made for whatever the purpose is God predestined for my life. That's one of my biggest ones. I put that in the atmosphere. I'm not just fearfully and wonderfully made, but I'm fearfully and wonderfully made for what God predestined for my life.
Yeah.
And I say that a gajillion times because here's the thing. He only made one of me.
Right.
And then he broke the mold. Man, listen. So we have to get to that place where we realize that we're so unique that everything about us was personally handcrafted so that we can be exactly who God designed for us to be. So we can begin to reinforce that in our lives. We won't let people devalue us. We won't let people treat us any kind of way. Come here, spouses. We won't let our wives or our husband curse us.
Yeah.
We set a different standard as kings and queens.
Yeah.
I love it. And so for me, I'm just gonna say, do the things that you love. What are the things that brings you joy?
Come on.
Those things that bring you joy, go ahead and invest in those. If it's like, for me, taking a walk, maybe it's a bath, maybe it's just closing your door and give me a minute to read a good book. But you find the things that bring you joy and make sure that you're doing those things. And that's what I would say.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
As y'all can see and y'all can hear, there's so many nuggets in this book. Y'all could have did a part 1, part 2. Okay, y'all set the bar high. I just want to let y'all know that now.
All right.
So listen.
We got to get in the same room. That would be dope.
Oh yeah. That's coming. That's coming. But we didn't want to miss this opportunity right here.
Yeah. Fresh. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. So listen, I want to talk about the real now. Okay. So as I was reading this book, I was like, okay, now when we gonna get to what I want to talk about, because you know, so
we gonna get to the good part.
In this book right here, if you turn to chapter 10,
come on here.
page 87, chapter 10, page 87. It's called the Miles High Club. Now, this chapter talks about sex in the marriage. And y'all, listen, I saved the best for last. I want to talk about sex. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to talk about no more. I want to give it back to y'all. Let's talk about joining my high club. Thank you.
That's funny. Go, babe, go. I'm like,
right. Throw it to him.
One of the things we understand, of course, is that men need intimacy. And I know that women need it as well. I don't ever want to diminish that. But this is about healthy relational sex within your marriage. Unapologetically. Boom, bam, boom. How do we get to a healthy place to where our intimacy is not lacking? Because here's one of the things, here's a great quote to understand and recognize as a man or a woman. No one leaves Golden Corral looking for something to eat.
That's good.
Ooh.
Good.
Come on. You're not trying to get dessert. I don't care what your next move might have been. What you had on your mind when you leave Golden Corral, you're not looking for any additional food. What do you mean by that, Pastor? When you've been well sexed, you don't need no more. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
We got to learn how to make that a strong part of our playbook, a strong part of our strategy, and stop using it as a vice or a cookie or reward.
Yeah.
We're not puppy dogs, ladies. Come here. I am not your puppy dog. You cannot reward me with your cookie when you feel it's redeemable. That is not a healthy way to maintain your relationship, because there's a whole lot of cookies out there.
Right.
And just like the Madagascar experience, come on, y'all remember the lion? He told that donkey, he said, man, you my homeboy. I would never eat you. Day one. Day two, he said, you my homeboy. The lion was looking at him like, man, good. You would never have to worry about when the famine came. Come here. When they were without food.
Yeah.
When their relationship became dry and there was no intimacy. The donkey looked at that. The lion looked at that donkey, and all he saw was steaks.
Right.
And that thing that he said he would never do, he now was partaking of.
Wow.
Come on, somebody. So we don't want to push our relationship to a point where it can cataclysmically be broken because of infidelity, because we weren't doing our part relationally.
Right.
So we have to figure out how we can build and continue to maintain a healthy sex life. It is a critical piece of the puzzle. And we love some sex.
Come on now. Come on now. That's good. Now that's from a male's perspective, and I love it because I agree, brother. I agree. So, Kris, talk to me from the woman's perspective.
Yeah.
Tell me about chapter 10 from your point of view.
Well, so I agree with my husband, Steve. I do. And I really understand what it means, or how, as a lady, it helps our men actually to think better, to process better, to get things done when they are able to have, I would say, release, so to speak, right? It releases stress, it releases tension. So let me be the one to do that for you. Amen. Ladies, get ourselves together. We gotta get ourselves together. Now, men, y'all can help us though. I always say, men, let me give you a secret of how to really get her in the mood. Help her. Help her with the kids. Do something to ease her, and she'll be ready for you. You know what I mean? So it's very important. Infidelity and the lack of sex. That's number 3. The divorce rate, of why people get divorced. or maybe number one. I might have messed it up, but either way, it is definitely one of the higher things why people get divorced. And so it's very important for you guys to maintain that healthy, sexual, intimate relationship. So,
So you said something that was so key right there, Kris, when you said help her get ready. So for guys, for me, I'm always ready. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? But for women, it's different. And what Bobby and she and I, we have these intimacy talks, and I'm just going to be transparent with you guys right now. Sometimes Bobby would say, look, sex doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts early in the day. So talk to the viewers about that. Like, when does sex start?
Affection is foreplay. Affection is foreplay. What do I mean by that? Affection is the non-sexual acts that we do towards our spouse with not the purpose of having intimacy, but to support them. We have to learn to be affectionate. We have to learn to help them with the different things that they have going on, talk to them, communicate with them, give them a full-blown massage.
I was just thinking that. I was like, you know, sometimes without like, I mean, does it have to be a
30-second massage? Then we on to the next one. We gotta learn how to. We gotta learn how to really. The foreplay is not about the actual intimate moment. It's more so about how we support them during the course of life. You know, we can keep them aroused by being with a man who loves and takes care of them, who supports them, who listens to them. I cook for my baby. She get a good meal. She's like, "Oh, you gonna make me get you some?" You know, so I'm like, I'm gonna whip this meal up for you, girl. I got you. I got you. My brother's like, "Why are you doing all the cooking?" Shut your mouth, mind your business.
Right.
Got something going on here. So yeah. It's so critical. You know, men need intimacy, women need affection. That is a critical piece of the puzzle, and that affection is that support and the listening ear and things that are not directly related to intimacy. But now in reverse of that, come here. You know when your husband needs something. Ladies, stop playing.
Yeah, right.
You get agitated. You get a little rough around the edges, and that boy spazzing out for no reason. What is I know what your problem is. I know what your problem is. So we need to stop pretending, or stop. If there is some strife between you, and then this is a serious moment. Oftentimes, more than not, when problems come in the marriage, the first thing we want to restrict and restrain as a woman, because we're empowered and we know that thing, there's power in the P. So the first thing we want to do is we want to restrict, we want to cut that off. So I'm pleading with you sisters right now to wave the white flag. Because it's doing more damage than it is helping your relationship. Let's figure out a way to restore and deal with the issues without basically pushing your spouse to the point of a near breaking point because you're concerned about things that are happening in your relationship. That's not the healthy method to fix your marriage. Holding back on sex only pushes a person to lust issues, to masturbation, to potential infidelity, and the hunger only grows more every day that you guys go without.
Listen, that's good. You know, this reminds me of something that your parents did when they would fight. Yeah, and I have to share this, and y'all know Steve and Alicia.
Shout out.
That's my people.
Yeah, we do too. They've given us so many nuggets, but you just touched on one of them. It's that when times are hard, when times are hard, when you're in the middle, in the thick of an argument, and you can't see eye to eye. One thing that they shared with us in year one of our marriage that they do is they get butt naked.
Butt naked.
They get butt naked when they're in an argument because it's hard to keep arguing when stuff is flying all around. And all of a sudden, you start getting close, and then all of a sudden, before you know,
right, y'all all right.
Yeah, you're all right. But that brings me to what I want to touch on real quick. After, as Kris, you call the release, the tone of your voice changes. Your temperament is totally different. Apology flows off of your tongue more. Yeah, it's just like, hey, babe, are we good? Because I did not mean to make you feel like it opens up the door for real communication.
Mm-hmm.
And so, stop doing this interpretive dance.
Sorry, it's real,
It is real. It is real. So, yeah, just talk to us about the aftermath and how powerful it is, after you have come together sexually in your marriage.
What I saw, even as you were given that description, was like a trap door being opened.
Wow.
And all of the junk, all of the pressures, all of the woes just falling out. And it gives you a reset.
Yeah.
Okay, I got this. Listen, and it's crazy that we're crafted like that, but I really believe that's what it is. It just kind of gives us a jump start. It's like a kid on a skateboard, and if he never gets that kick, at some point the skateboard's going to stop flowing.
Wow. Listen, guys, we can talk about this all day long. But look, before we get to our closing, because we're coming up on that time, I want to just ask y'all this. It's another rapid fire question, okay? And I want y'all to just, I know, right? It's what I do. I want you guys to just quickly tell me a number, all right? That first number that comes to your mind. How many times should a married couple have sex in a month?
As many times as both parties can agree to and healthily function in. Men, every 3 days, they're hungry.
That's why I was like, I started like 3 times.
Every 3 days. If it's more than 3 days, it starts to build a little bit of frustration. The testosterone build up. There's some physical and mental things that start to happen. So if you can close that 3-day gap, then there's less tendency for them to even shop around or even be concerned about the gestures and the foolishness of people that want to try to come into the mix. So if you can close that window and keep it within no more than 3 days, I think that it builds a healthy. More is better, but at least every 3 days, you kind of can keep yourself from kind of being, unless there's some health issues, we try to, again, as much as, that's why I said the caveat is as much as physically possible, but after about a 3-day period, men start to, that Madagascar lion starts to peek his little nasty head, and then stuff that didn't look good now starts to look okay. After 4 days, stuff that didn't look good starts to be like, huh. But, a weekend is like, dang, it's frustrating. It becomes, like a battle. So as you grow older, that number becomes larger, of course, but it's normally about a 2 to 3 day time frame, especially for millennials. Every day if you can, but as much as y'all can.
All right, Lord.
I know.
They said there's so many benefits.
Yeah, it is.
It's healthy, and they say that amount of time is synonymous to a 3-hour workout. So, because you pump your heart and your brain and your blood vessels and everything flow. It's really healthy for you. So there's good physical, mental, spiritual, everything. It builds a great bond. So there's never too much. I think that's the best answer.
That's the best answer. And real quick, because we're coming short up on time, but I wanted to touch on this just a very little bit. So I know that couples, Bobby and I have been doing this. We've been married for 15 years. How long y'all been married?
It's 26.
26 years. So I know that y'all doing things to keep things interesting in the bedroom, but talk to us just a little bit why married couples should not bring pornography into the bedroom to help the intimacy.
Well,
so go ahead, babe.
If there's lust issues, then it becomes a problem. What'll happen is that people will oftentimes be focused on and spend their whole time gravitating towards the images that they see versus the actual relationship that they have. And those who are dealing with pornography and lust issues, it just kind of overflows them and puts them into a different mindset where they're not really with their spouse. They're really just using the spouse to engage in their pornographic experience, and so that can kind of breed a whole different kind of relational experience.
Yeah, and you're not focused so much on your spouse, what you guys can create. Now you're focused on the fantasy, right?
Yeah.
So keep the people out your bedroom. You say keep everybody else out your bedroom, keep them out your bedroom too. So but yeah, those images, they can captivate your mind. So really you need to be focused on each other and pleasing each other.
That's good.
Because that's false reality. So
true.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that's infidelity in itself, because the Bible talks about if you look upon a woman or a man with lust, you've already committed adultery right there. So I like how you just the way that Kris, you just put it when you say that captures your mind. You've been taken captive by an image and captive by an unrealistic fantasy, and you're not even available to your spouse because you're captive somewhere else. So,
and then I guess what you would have to do is figure out what is that desire? Why are you desiring that? Because there's something that's missing.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
Good stuff. So listen, as we close real quick, final words. I know that we spent a lot of time talking to the married people, but y'all, there's so many single people and engaged people that are looking at y'all. You guys are role models for them. What do you guys want to say to the single people that are hoping and wishing one day to be married and to have a successful 26-year marriage like you all?
Unapologetically, I would say get you a copy of this book, because strategy builds templates to be able to move into a fashion of a right relationship. So if you have a starting point that's fresh, healthy, and with a good strategy, you have a better chance of a success in your relationship. I wish I knew some of the stuff and content that God has shared with us over the years when we first started. Wow. Then we wouldn't have had to go through all of the things that we went through. So this is a great strategy book. Even if you're dating, you're seriously thinking about marriage, or even if you're just dreaming about who your Boaz is going to be, get you a copy of our book so that you can get you some good strategy to start your relationship.
Yeah.
I think he said it all. Yeah, but it really is important, I think, for singles to learn, to give them an expectation of what marriage is to be. I think a lot of people have an idea of what marriage is, but they don't understand, that you have to go through some things. So having this book will help to prepare you for marriage.
Well, thank you guys. Listen, this was so amazing. I just want you guys to tell the people, how they can find you online. Tell them how they can get the book. And guys, if you are watching this live, or if you're watching the rebroadcast, just hang tight afterwards. We'll put the book up, and how you can get in touch with them, how you can follow them and get a copy of your own Flying High, the playbook to building a healthy relationship. We love you guys so much.
I got this. So you can go to all right. You can go to themarriageclub.org. That's our website. Please follow us on Facebook. We have the group and the page. We also are on Instagram. To get the book, go to flyinghighmarriage.com. Flyinghighmarriage.com. Get it today. Get it today. So that's
Awesome.
how you guys can be in touch with us.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Mauricio and Kris Sonny. We appreciate you guys spending this time with us today. We love y'all so much. And trust me, we're going to be doing more stuff in the future. So we love y'all. Thank y'all.
We got to get y'all in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Oh, Lord.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hot dogs. So. See y'all.
All right.
Grace and
Thank
peace.
you guys.
Hey y'all, we're back. Thank y'all for joining us. Again, listen, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching us. Again, please follow Mauricio and Kris Sonny. Make sure that you guys are following them on Instagram and Facebook. And please make sure you go get their book today. It is awesome. Also, make sure that you follow us at The Mix on Instagram and also on Facebook as well. So we love you guys. Thank y'all. Baby, you want to say something to them?
Love you guys. This was awesome. It's the Mix INC.
Mix INC.
All right.
See ya.